Guys, welcome back to Last Minute FPL Weekly. This is our Game Week 4 preview, and we'll talk about the latest press conference news, and we'll deep down into a hot topic, that is the forwards, and we'll also give you the captain picks and gamble for Game Week 4. So yeah, let's begin. So let's start with the press conference news. So the biggest news is coming from Mourinho, that Son can surprise us, and he's very optimistic, Son, and he can also play against Manchester United. So this can even be mind games from Mourinho. What do you think, Bruce?
Yeah, that is possible. Mourinho, he's a man of magic. He tries to do this with a lot of managers, and at the end of the game, they always take hands. So probably.
Yeah. The next news is a good news for Burnley, because their main defender Tarkowski is fit again, and even their main forward, that is Ashley Barnes, he's also fit. So they both will probably start in Game Week 4. And another news is that Ross Barkley has gone to Aston Villa, and he'll probably start in Game Week 4 for them. Then the next news is a big one, that is from Wolves. Podence and Marcel are fit, but they will have a late training session, and after that Nuno will decide if they play or not. So let's see. But Podence is in Portugal squad, I think, Bruce.
Yeah, Podence has been selected for the Portugal squad. The problem is many managers have transferred Vinagre inside, so if Marcel starts, then it's a big problem for them.
Yeah, exactly. So the next big news is from Everton. So their main two midfielders, that is Allen and Andre Gomez, those two are ruled out for the game, and even Richarlison will have a late fitness test because he got injured in the Carabao Cup. And for Southampton, Redmond is back again, so he'll probably start for Southampton in Game Week 4. And the next biggest news is from Chelsea. So everyone knows that Werner hasn't been playing well, he hasn't been scoring goals, but Pulisic is back and he'll be in the squad, but he won't start according to Lampard. He'll be on the bench. So do you have Bruce? Do you have Werner in your team?
Yeah, I do have Werner in my team. Every week I kept thinking I'll transfer him out the next week, But the stats they show the opposite direction. He's had a shot on goal last game. He would have had an assist if Jorginho had to convert that penalty. And now with the Pulisic boost, I think they're going to get points. So I'll keep him this.
Yes, exactly.
I'm in the same boat as Bruce. Like, I've always thought, okay, this week if Werner doesn't play, I'll have to remove him. But it's just a 9.5 Chelsea striker who might be a winger this season, who knows. But a 9.5 Chelsea striker is way too enticing to just give up like that. So I'll probably hold him for another week. But if not this week, then yeah, I have to remove him.
Yes, exactly. And the last news is the biggest one. That is the top scorer of the league currently. That is Jamie Vardy. He's fit and he'll probably start in Game Week 4 as well. So yeah, that's it from the press conference, and we'll deep down into our next hot topic, that is the forwards. The best forward available. So Karthik, why don't you start in this topic?
Yeah, so if I had to pick three forwards, if I was given no transfers whatsoever and just given three forwards who I had to stick with for the rest of the season, they would probably be Jimenez, DCL and Bamford. Now, the thing is, over the past couple of years, strikers have kind of gone out of favor. Like 2 seasons back, your top scorers in FPL would be strikers, someone like a Kane. But the previous 2 seasons with Salah and KDB, that's kind of shifted to the midfielders. So now, the current FPL season is kind of a big hit for these mid-range strikers, somewhere from the 7 to 10 range. And I think DCL is the perfect example of that. For 7 million, scoring 4 goals so far, I think 5 goals? Yeah, 5 goals in 3 games. That's an amazing return. Similar with Bamford. Bamford's what, I think he's 5.9 now, right? He's grown up by 0.4. That's a very good deal in FPL. So yeah, I think this year, like the previous 2 years, is the season for budget strikers more than out-and-out strikers like Vardy.
Yeah, exactly. So Bruce, who do you think are the best 3 forwards to go in your team?
Apart from the top, that's Calvert-Lewin and maybe Werner, you can't play in the future. But I would still go with two forwards who are actually returning. I mean, one forward is actually returning. The other one is high on statistics but hasn't got his returns there. So Bamford has scored or assisted in all 3 games that he started. Also, he's got 4 shots on target in 3 games. That's a big thing. And the only thing is that he's playing against Man City this week, which is a little tricky. Or maybe it will go the other way because City has been struggling defensively. We've seen last game, Leicester City almost dashed them with 5, I think 5. The other one I want to speak on is Che Adams. He's not given big returns yet, but his stats they speak otherwise. He has 6 shots in 3 games, and he's playing aside Danny Ings. So that's another plus point. The Ings is so electric, so pacey, always on the ball. He's always putting balls inside. He's always taking shots on goal. So maybe a rebound shot coming to Adams, or you never know. But Adams has got a lot of shots. He's got 1 assist now. And if he doesn't perform in the next 2 game weeks, I'll take him off. But for now, against the West Brom side who've been conceding goals a lot, I think Adams is a good pick for this.
Yeah, exactly. And I have 2 in my mind, that is DCL and Jimenez. Those 2 are like very common currently. But apart from them, I have another cheap and differential striker, that is Neil Maupay. And he's even on penalties. So as you all have seen that penalties are the way to go in this season. And he's currently 6.5 and he's in less than 4% of the FPL teams. So he's another great striker and his stats are pretty good. He created against United, he scored the penalty and he also created 3 chances. And in the previous game against Newcastle as well, he created 4 chances. He got 2 goals. He got an assist as well. So he has been in pretty good form, and Brighton as an overall team look pretty good this season. So I think Maupay can be a great differential, and he's also on penalties. So that is my third option for the strikers. So yeah, let's talk about our captain picks now. So game week 4 is coming tomorrow and we have to select our captain. So I have been pretty bad selecting captains currently for the past 3 game weeks. So Bruce, who is your captain for game week 4?
I've locked on Aubameyang. The only reason why is last season he had 13 goals at home, only standing second to Mohamed Salah, who had 15 goals at home. And Arsenal are a confident side after beating Liverpool yesterday. I think that's going to be a boost in their confidence. And Sheffield have conceded 46 shots, so that's a big thing. And they've had no clean sheet. So, that's maybe another thing where I can get maybe a clean sheet from Aubameyang. So I think that extra point there, the clean sheet. Another point that he's a midfielder, so I get another point if he scores. And a fixture against Sheffield should add up, and that's why I'm going for him as my captain.
Great choice, a differential captain option, I think, because not many people will go for Auba. So if he scores, he can be great for you. And Karthik, who is your captain for game week 4?
Yeah, touching on your previous point, my first 3 captains very bad choices. So I'm hoping this one does better. But yeah, I'm going to make the same decision which I had to make 30 out of 38 game weeks last season, KDB or Salah. And so for now, I'm sticking with Salah because I think he has a much higher ceiling with penalties and the positions he gets into. The only problem is Aston Villa as a side looks very formidable, especially in the back. So that's the cause of concern. So it's still more like 70-30 in favor of Salah. But the problem with KDB is City is not playing that well. But one thing I've noticed about City in the years, every time they lose, some upset, they come back winning with 7 or 8. It's the craziest thing ever. So I kind of expect them to go all guns blazing this time. So maybe KDB is the right option. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch.
Exactly. From your point, my captain for this week, I have KDB and even Sterling in my team. So I'll probably go for KDB or Sterling only because I think whenever City lose a game, and that too 5-2 against Leicester, they'll probably come back and score 5 goals in this game week. And I think KDB or Sterling, and I'm kind of inclined towards Sterling because Sterling gets into those spaces and he has a higher ceiling because if he scores, he can go on to get you 20 FPL points in 1 game week. So I'm kind of inclined towards Sterling now, but KDB is a safe option, and due to 3 very bad captain weeks for me, I think I'll go for a safe option. So let's see. KDB
touching on your ceiling point, that's an important point because I feel like KDB as a player he had a phenomenal day last week. Like he should have had 2 assists. One was ruled out. Fernandinho he had an amazing game. But that ceiling that he offers is probably like a constant 7-8 points in every game week. Maybe more if you're lucky, but the players like Sterling and Salah, if they go off, probably get 2-3 goals. It can go as high as 20. So for a long-term captaincy pick, like if you have to like pick someone as a captain, you should always keep that in consideration.
Exactly. That is what my thinking is. So let's see, my captain picks are either Sterling or KDB, and tomorrow is the deadline. I'll just choose them 1 hour before the deadline. So let's see. Let's go for our gamble picks for game week 4. So gamble is a differential, and he can, he's not in many teams, and he can give you those points that can take you to the top of your mini leagues. So Karthik, who is your gamble for game week 4?
Oh, yeah. So this is gonna be embarrassing, like, cause so when I say gamble, this is a pure gamble. There is no stats behind this. There's no evidence for this. But because of the Son injury, I was forced to make a transfer, so I brought in Greenwood. My thinking behind Greenwood is, one, I'm a United fan, and that's like 80% of my decision-making process right now. But the rest 20 is, I expected Sancho or someone else like Dembele to come along by now, but they haven't, which means that in his position, especially with Daniel James not playing so well, he's kind of nailed into that spot. His price has dropped to 7.4, which is also not, it's not a big difference, but still, like, I'm trying to convince myself at this point. And lastly, I think there's still a lot to see from Greenwood. I always see that he tries to he tries to do better than his XG. Like, even if his XG is, like, I think he excelled his XG by like 2 or 3 points last time, which is unheard of. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting that during the course of the season. And so yeah, that would be my embarrassing gamble of the day.
And to add up, last game he had a goal which was ultimately ruled out.
Yeah.
It's not for Rashford's offside, but that was a clinical finish. So that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. He can be a very great gamble for you, or as you are speaking, the great embarrassment as well. So Bruce, who is your gamble for game week 4?
My gamble has been and will be Che Adams for this week, because I told you, I explained, he has an assist already. He has a lot of shots. He has 6 shots in the last 3 games, coming from one player only. He has somebody like Danny Ings just besides him over there. So I think for this week it's going to be Che Adams. The stats back him up, and I think also he has a lot of potential in himself as a striker to take that position and keep staying long outside for the long term.
So I think you have a very great, expectation from Southampton as a team, and even Che Adams, and you are even wearing the Southampton colours today. So it's great to see. And talking about my gamble, so my gamble, as I was speaking about Neil Maupay, so another from Brighton is Trossard. He is in less than 2% of the teams currently, and he hit the woodwork like 3 times. He hit the woodwork against United, and he has been creating so many chances for Brighton. He is their main source of attack, and whenever he passes the ball to Maupay is likely to score. So I think Maupay and Trossard, these both are pretty great differentials for this game week, because Everton don't have their regular midfielders, Allen and Andre Gomez as well. So they both can, gel up and score many goals against Everton, and it will be a very great game. So that's about it, and we'll join you again with the Game Week 4 review. Do stay connected and like, share and subscribe as well.